There's something about the wolf that hypnotizes us. The image of someone who walks alone, doesn't depend on anyone, doesn't need anything. The lone wolf seems free, strong, and brave. But is this really freedom? Or just a pretty way of saying you're too wounded to try again? In-depth psychology, the wolf carries the mark of the exile, the one who was hurt, rejected, and now prefers to stay away to avoid getting hurt again. The question that echoes in the silence is, are you alone because you chose freedom? Or because you lost the courage to throw yourself back into life? How many times have you looked in the mirror and seen a wolf? Strong, independent, needing nothing and no one. It's a beautiful image, almost romantic. But behind this mask, sometimes hides a rawer truth. It's not that you chose to be alone. It's that you're too tired to keep trying. Maybe it was that romantic disappointment that broke you inside. Or the betrayal of a friend you trusted blindly. It could have been the family that never understood you. Or the job that sucked your soul dry until nothing was left. And then, you decided. It's easier to be alone than to risk getting hurt again. The lone wolf becomes perfect armor. I am strong, you repeat to yourself. I don't need anyone. But deep down, you know this isn't strength. It's protection. It's a way of not having to explain why you stopped believing in people, why you stopped trying. The truth is, there's a huge difference between choosing solitude and taking refuge in it. When you choose, you have control. When you take refuge, solitude chooses you. And maybe it's time to be honest. Are you really in control of your life? Or are you just surviving it? At first, the silence of solitude seems like relief. No one demands anything from you. No one judges you. No one disappoints you. It's just you and your thoughts, your books, your shows, your work. It feels like pure freedom. But gradually, this silence starts to scream. You realize that all days look the same. You wake up, work, eat, sleep, and repeat. The people around you live, get married, travel, make mistakes, fall in love, suffer, start over. And you? You're frozen in time, safe in your bubble, but also trapped in it. Time doesn't stop for anyone. Not even for those who decided to stop living. That dream of traveling abroad keeps getting more distant. The desire to have a family, to build something with someone, transforms into a dull pain you try to ignore. Opportunities pass by, and you let them pass, because leaving your comfort zone hurts more than staying where you are. And then comes the question you don't want to hear. What are you really protecting? Your peace or your fear? Because sometimes protecting yourself so much from pain means protecting yourself from joy too. And a life without joy isn't life. It's just existence. I don't need anyone. How many times have you said this phrase? To others, to yourself, like a mantra of independence. But there's a weight in these words that few can carry without breaking. Not needing anyone means you can never show weakness. It means that when you're sick, you handle it alone. When you're sad, you swallow your tears. When you're scared, you fake courage. It means carrying all the burdens on your back, solving all problems with your own hands, enduring all pain in silence. But the human body wasn't made for this. The human soul wasn't made for this. We are beings who are born dependent, who grow up in community, who heal through connection. Wanting to be completely independent is like wanting to breathe underwater. It might work for a while, but eventually, you'll drown. The truth is that needing others isn't weakness. It's humanity. Needing a hug when everything falls apart. A word of encouragement when you want to give up. Someone who listens without judgment when the world doesn't make sense. This doesn't make you smaller. It makes you human. True power isn't in not needing anyone. It's in knowing when to ask for help, in having the courage to be vulnerable, in building relationships where you can be yourself, with all your imperfections. Everyone talks about freedom as if it were a simple thing. Be free. Do what you want. Live your life. But no one prepares you for the price of real freedom. Because being truly free isn't doing what you want, when you want. It's having the courage to face the consequences of each choice. Freedom means that if you want to love, you have to accept the risk of suffering. If you want to build something, you have to accept the risk of failing. If you want to connect with people, you have to accept that some will disappoint you. If you want to live intensely, you have to accept that life includes pain, loss, disappointment. The lone wolf prefers a safe prison to risky freedom, prefers guaranteed solitude to uncertain love, prefers predictable sameness to the adventure of the unknown, and calls this freedom, but it's actually the opposite. It's fear disguised as independence. Being free is waking up every day and choosing to try, even knowing it might go wrong. Choosing to try to meet someone, even knowing it might not happen. Choosing to dream, even knowing it might not come true. Choosing to live, even knowing that life isn't easy. The question is, are you ready to pay the price of real freedom? Or do you prefer to keep calling your prison freedom? Silence can be a balm, but it can also be an echo. When you stay alone too much, for too long, voices start to emerge that you'd rather not hear. Memories you tried to forget, regrets you buried, dreams you abandoned. In the silence of dawn, when there's no more Netflix to watch, work to do, or distraction to seek, that's when the soul whispers its most uncomfortable truths. Remember that person you hurt and never apologized to? Remember that dream you had and gave up on? Remember the last time you were truly happy? Isolation is often an escape from these internal voices. You keep yourself busy, distant, protected, so you don't have to hear what your own soul has to say. But it always finds a way to speak. In moments of silence, in dreams, in the strange feeling that something is missing. Jung spoke about the shadow, that part of us we hide even from ourselves. Forced solitude can be a way of not looking at this shadow, of not facing the parts of ourselves we don't like. But the shadow doesn't disappear when we ignore it. It grows, gains strength, and eventually demands its price. Maybe it's time to stop running from what you're trying not to hear, to listen to what your soul has to say. Because sometimes, the pain of facing the truth is less than the pain of continuing to run from it. And there's a pain you know well, the pain of loving and being betrayed, of giving yourself and being abandoned, of trusting and being disappointed. It's a pain that marks, that leaves scars, that changes how you see the world. And after this pain, it's natural to want to protect yourself. But what happens when protection becomes prison? When the fear of suffering prevents you from living? You look at couples on the street and feel a pang of envy. You see happy families and wonder what it would be like to have that. You hear love stories and think, that's not for me. The fear of loving isn't just about romantic relationships. It's about any kind of surrender. Fear of making deep friendships, because friends can abandon you. Fear of getting attached to projects because they can go wrong. Fear of dreaming big, because dreams can be frustrated. You've built walls so high around your heart that even you can't climb them anymore. And in there, alone, you're safe from pain, but you're also safe from joy, safe from love, safe from real life. The truth is, there's no love without risk, no connection without vulnerability, no full life without the possibility of pain. And maybe that's what you most need to hear. It's worth the risk. It's worth loving, even knowing it might hurt. Because the pain of loving and losing is still less than the pain of never having loved. There are days you wake up already tired. It's not physical tiredness, it's soul tiredness. Tired of having to be strong all the time, of having to solve everything alone, of having to stand firm when everything crumbles, of never being able to show that you also break, also cry, also need comfort. Being the strong one in the family, the reliable one at work, the one who never fails friends. All this has a price, and the price is yourself. You cancel yourself out, diminish yourself, hide behind a mask of strength that sometimes you can't take off anymore. When was the last time you cried in front of someone? When was the last time you said, "I'm not okay," and were really honest about what you were feeling? When was the last time you asked for help? Not because you needed to solve a practical problem, but because you needed emotional support? Real strength isn't in never falling. It's in knowing how to get up. It's not in never crying. It's in crying when you need to and moving forward. It's not in never asking for help. It's in knowing when to ask and accepting when it's offered. You weren't born to carry the world on your shoulders. You were born to live, to feel, to be human. And being human includes moments of weakness, vulnerability, need. Don't be afraid to show that you're also made of flesh and bone, heart and soul. There's solitude that heals and solitude that breaks you down. The solitude that heals is the one you choose to know yourself better, to reflect, to grow. It's the necessary retreat to hear your own voice amid the noise of the world. This solitude strengthens, clears the mind, brings wisdom. But there's another type of solitude. The one you didn't choose, but that became your default refuge. The one that started as protection and became self-destruction. The one that isolates you not to strengthen you, but to erase you slowly, like a candle that melts slowly until nothing remains. This toxic solitude has clear signs. You stop dreaming. Stop planning the future. Stop taking proper care of yourself. Days blend into each other, without color, without flavor, without purpose. You exist, but don't live. You breathe, but don't feel the air entering your lungs. Jung called this death in life, when the person is still here, but has given up on living. It's as if you turned off your own light so as not to bother anyone, so as not to get hurt, so as not to have to deal with the complexity of real life. The question you need to ask yourself is this solitude strengthening me or erasing me? Am I using this time alone to grow or to escape? Am I preparing to return to the world, or am I giving up on it? Our culture romanticizes the figure of the loner a lot. The misunderstood artist, the isolated philosopher, the wolf that doesn't need the pack. There's something attractive about this image of total independence. But is this really freedom, or is it fear disguised as philosophy? Real freedom is being able to choose. Being able to be alone when you want, but also being able to connect when you feel the need. Being able to travel alone, but also being able to share adventures with someone. Being able to have your moments of silence, but also being able to laugh out loud with friends. What isn't freedom is being trapped in a pattern, even if that pattern is solitude. If you always choose to stay alone, not by choice, but by fear, then you're not free. You're trapped in your own fear. True courage isn't not needing anyone. It's knowing that you can live alone, but choosing to connect anyway. It's knowing that you can protect yourself, but choosing to be vulnerable. It's knowing that you can run away, but choosing to stay and face things. Think about your recent years. How many opportunities did you miss out of fear? How many interesting people did you let pass by out of fear of getting involved? How many dreams did you abandon because they required leaving your comfort zone? Real life happens outside the comfort zone. And if you always choose the safe, the known, the isolated, you're not living. You're just existing in a very small version of what your life could be. Time is the only thing no one can recover. While you're standing still, protected in your solitude, life happens around you. The people you could have met marry others. The opportunities you could have taken go to others. The places you could have visited are still there, waiting for other travelers. I'm not telling you to run out and change everything overnight. I'm telling you to stop using time as an excuse. When I'm better, when I'm more prepared, when the situation is more favorable. But what if that moment never comes? What if you're always waiting for a perfect version of yourself that will never exist? The truth is that no one is ever completely ready for life's big decisions. No one is 100% prepared to love, to get married, to have children, to change careers, to move to a new city, to adopt a dog. We learn by doing, by making mistakes, by trying again. You have dreams stored in the drawer for years. How long will you keep postponing your own life? Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It happens now, whether you're prepared or not. And if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll discover that the only moment you really had was this one. There's something bigger happening here. It's not just about you leaving solitude or overcoming your fears. It's about understanding that you have a purpose in this world that goes beyond your pain, your protection, your fear. The world needs what you have to offer. It needs your sensitivity, your depth, your unique way of seeing things. It needs your ideas, your dreams, your capacity to love. But it needs you whole, not the diminished version you became out of fear of getting hurt. Jung spoke about the individuation process, the path to becoming who you really are, integrating all parts of yourself, including the ones you prefer to hide. It's not an easy path, but it's the only path that leads to real fulfillment. You're not here by accident. You didn't go through everything you went through for no reason. Every pain, every disappointment, every disillusionment taught you something about life, about people, about yourself. This wisdom you acquired in solitude can help other people who are going through the same thing you went through. But for that, You need to return to the world. You need to reconnect. You need to have the courage to try again. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Because that's what it means to be alive. In reality, the wolf wasn't made to live alone. It is, above all, a pack animal. Its true strength lies in the group, in unity, in silent collaboration between members of its family. Wolves live, hunt, and survive together. Each one has a role. Some hunt, others care for the cubs, others protect the territory. They're like a family of survivors, each one supporting the other. When a wolf separates, it's usually not by choice. It's because it was expelled from the pack, because it lost its leadership position, or because the group's rules forced it to leave. This wolf, often seen as the lone wolf, isn't free. It's in exile. It was forced to walk alone because there was no other path. And the truth is harsh. A wolf alone is in danger. It doesn't have the group's support to hunt large prey. It doesn't have others to care for it if it's injured. It's vulnerable, even though it seems strong. Wolves are creatures that understand the importance of cooperation. They hunt in packs because they know that alone they are limited. A wolf can't take down an adult elk by itself, but in a group, they are relentless. One surrounds, the other attacks. One tires the prey, the other brings it down. They need each other, not because they are weak, but because life is like that. Too difficult to face alone. And the wolf's howl, that sound that echoes in the night, isn't just a song of freedom. It's often a call, a plea for the pack to hear, a lament from someone who is too far away and misses the connection. It's as if the wolf were saying, "I am here. Don't forget me. I'm still part of you." Wolves are also sensitive. They lick each other for comfort, play to teach the cubs, howl in chorus to reinforce bonds. They care for their own. They are fierce when they need to protect the pack, but they are tender when they are among their own. The myth of the lone wolf fascinates us because it gives us an image of total independence, of invincible strength. But the real wolf reminds us of something truer. Real strength lies in connection. It lies in knowing when to go alone and when to return to the group. It lies in recognizing that even the strongest need support, affection, companionship. The journey back to life isn't simple. It requires courage to face old fears, to open up again, to take risks. You've already survived everything that brought you to this point. You are stronger than you imagine, and you deserve a full, connected, real life, not just a safe and empty existence. To continue exploring these paths of self-knowledge and transformation, I invite you to check out my exclusive ebook from the Alchemy and Archetypes channel, which has practical exercises that can help you in this process. If this content makes sense to you, subscribe to the channel and leave your like. And stay with me for the next video, where I talk about whether running away from the world is the only way out.